Good morning everyone. So today we will do power of I. Okay. So here you should remember one thing, that I to the power 4n is equal to 1, where n can be a whole number. Okay, that means n can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on. So please remember that I to the power 4n is equal to 1. Okay, firstly you should remember this, and you should remember this, that I to the power 0 will be 1, I to the power 1 will be I square will be minus 1, I to the power 3 will be minus I. Okay, and you should always remember this one. Okay, now why do I say that you have to remember this? Because here if you see I to the power 0, I to the power 1, I to the power 2, I to the power 3, these are in the power we have very small numbers, yes. So here you can easily find the value, okay. But if you get a bigger number, okay, then how to find the answer? So in that case, this will help you. This knowledge will help you, this fact will help you, that I to the power 4n is always 1, okay, where n is a whole number. That means n can be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, so on, okay. So now let us see how we can make use of this information to solve problem. Okay, here I have written that if we have any number I to the power p, where p is a whole number and p is greater than 4, then we first divide p by 4 to separate the greatest multiple of 4 less than p. So just reading the statement, I think many of you would be confused. So let us see example, okay. So here we have I to the power 7. Can you see 7 is greater than 4? Yes. So this is what a statement is saying, that if you have something in power which is greater than 4, then you should divide that power by 4, okay. So here we have 7, so 7 will be divided by 4, so you get this, okay. So that means 7 can be written as 4 into 1 plus 3, done. So after dividing, you will get your quotient, you will get your remainder, yes. So this dividend, okay, will be written as divisor into quotient plus remainder. So I to the power 7 is equal to I to the power 4 plus 3, done. Now you know that if you have x to the power m plus n, then this can be written as x to the power m into x to the power n. So using this law, you can write I to the power 4 into I to the power 3, done. And just now I told you that for I to the power 4n, we have always 1, okay, where n can be 0, 1, 2, so on. So in our case, we have I to the power 4 into 1, yes, and this will be equal to 1, yes. So I got 1, and I cube is minus I, so answer comes minus I, okay. That's why I told you that you should remember I to the power 0 is 1, I to the power 1 is I to the power 2 is minus 1, I to the power 3 is minus I, and then I to the power 4n is always 1, where n is a whole number, okay. Now let's see the next one, I to the power 998. So this number is greater than 4, okay. So when you divide this 998 by 4, then quotient will be 249, okay, and remainder you will get 2. That means 998 can be written as 4 into 249 plus 2. Yes, so it's written over here. Then using this law, okay, using this law you can write I to the power 4, okay, into this 249 and here I square. So you know that this will be equal to 1 because I to the power 4n will be 1, where n is whole number, okay. So you got 1 for this part, and I square, you know I square is minus 1, so you get minus 1. So this is your homework, this is also your homework. So try them. Now let us see topic 2. So topic 2 is what? Okay. Here we have 1 upon I. So 1 upon I, here you can see that in denominator we have complex number. So in very first lecture I think I told you should not have a complex number in denominator. So we should rationalize it. So multiply and divide by same, okay. So you get I upon I square. So you get I upon minus 1, which becomes minus I, okay. So you got that, and 1 upon minus I is equal to I, clear. So here what do you observe is, from this one we will get 1 is equal to minus I into I, yes, and from here also we observe that 1 is equal to I into minus I, yes. So now tell me one thing, 2 into what will give me 1? Answer will be half, yes. 3 into, sorry, minus 3 into what will give me 1? Answer will be minus 1 by 3, yes. So in this case what happens, these two are called multiplicative inverse of each other. They are called multiplicative inverse of each other, like minus 3 is multiplicative inverse of minus 1 by 3. 2 is multiplicative inverse of 1 by 2. So same way over here we observe that when we take product of this minus I and I, then answer is coming 1, okay. So that's why these two are inverses of each other, okay. These two are inverses of each other, or we say they are reciprocal of each other, okay. And third, you should remember that I is neither 0 nor greater than 0 nor less than 0, okay. So most of the time we say minus I or negative I, but this statement is not correct, okay. In fact we should say that this is inverse of I. Okay, when I write minus I, that means I am writing inverse of I. Okay, so this type of question you don't get in examination. This is only for your concept. Okay, that you should not be confused with that, that when I put minus I, it doesn't mean that this is less than 0. Okay, okay, this is done. Now let us see next. Okay, next is existence of additive identity. Now you take any complex number z. Okay, now what I should add over here? Okay, what which complex number I should add with this z, so that my answer is again z only. Okay, so here I can add 0 to get z. 0 is a complex number only, because 0 can be expressed as 0 plus 0 into I. Okay, so 0 is called additive identity. Okay, because when 0 is added to any complex number, you get the same complex number. So 0 is called additive identity. Now next is existence of additive inverse. So let us consider one complex number z. Let's say this is equal to a plus ib. Now what should I add to this z? Okay, so that answer comes 0. Okay, so that answer comes 0. So here my z is a plus ib. Yes, so if I add this minus a minus ib, then I'll get 0. Yes or no? But this is nothing but minus a plus this minus z. So if minus z is added to this complex z, okay, then we are getting 0. Okay, so this minus z will be called additive inverse of z. So if I have minus 7 plus 3i, then additive inverse for this will be negative of this. Okay, that means 7 minus 3i will be additive inverse of this. Okay, so here additive inverse is clear to you now. Now let us see next. Okay, example. So here I have taken few examples. So first one is write the additive inverse of this minus 2 plus 3i. So here I am considering this to be z. So z is this. Additive inverse of this will be negative of this. Okay, so additive inverse of z will be minus z. So you're getting this. So when you add these two, your answer will be 0. Okay, so that's why now they are additive inverse of each other. This is your homework. Try it. Now next is existence of multiplicative identity. Okay, now for every complex number z, if you have z into 1 or 1 into z, your answer will be z only. So 1 is multiplicative identity for complex numbers. Okay, like here if I take 3 plus 2i, what I should multiply over here to get the same complex number? Answer would be 1. Okay, so this one is called multiplicative identity for this. Okay, so in fact 1 is multiplicative identity for all complex numbers. Okay, next is multiplicative inverse. Multiplicative inverse. Let's say I have a complex number a plus ib. Now what I should multiply over here, okay, to get 1, to get 1. So answer will be, I should multiply reciprocal of this, okay, then only I'll get 1. These two will cancel out and I'll get 1, okay. So if you have a complex number z, then multiplicative inverse of this z will be 1 by z, okay. And we have already learned that 1 by z is equal to, if your z is a plus ib, if your z is a plus ib, then 1 by z will be a upon a square plus b square minus ib upon a square plus b square, okay. So multiplicative inverse is done. So here I have written, let z be a plus ib, then z to the power minus 1, that is 1 by z, is multiplicative inverse, okay, because when you multiply these two you are getting 1, okay. And multiplicative inverse 1 by z is equal to this, okay. Now let us take few examples for this multiplicative inverse. So your first one is 2 plus 2i. I have to find multiplicative inverse of this complex number. So 2 plus 2i, I will put this as z equal to 2 plus 2i. Multiplicative inverse of this z will be 1 by z. So 1 by z, and you know you should not have a complex number in denominator, so we are rationalizing it, and at the end you get this, okay. So this is the multiplicative inverse for this complex number, okay. And instead of doing this much work, as you know that if z is equal to a plus ib, then 1 by z will be a upon a square plus b square minus ib upon a square plus b square. So straight you can write, okay, here a is 2, so 2 upon, here 2 and here b is 2, so we get 2a square plus 2a square minus I into 2, and here a square, 2a square plus 2a square, so you get 2 by 8 minus I into 2 by 8, so you get 1 by 4 minus I 1 by 4, which is 1 minus I by 4, okay. So you can use the formula straight and you can get your answer, okay. Now next is this question. Here this is your complex number, okay, and we have to find its multiplicative inverse. But though it's a complex number, but it is not in this form, okay, it is not in this form. So what we'll do, firstly we'll bring it to this form, okay. So here we see that in denominator we have 4 minus 5i, so we will rationalize it, okay. So here we have 4 minus 5i, so we'll multiply and divide by 4 plus 5i, okay, 4 plus 5i, and then we'll get the same complex number in this form, okay. And once you have got it in this form, you can find its multiplicative inverse, okay. So this is your z. Now multiplicative inverse of this will be 1 by z, okay. So for, you know that multiplicative inverse is this, a minus ib upon a square plus b square, yes or no. So use this formula and you'll get your answer. Clear? Okay, so now again we are coming back to exercise 10a. Now we'll do question number 5.1. Here it says, find the product of the two complex numbers 3 minus 2i and 2 plus 5i, and hence show that the modulus of the product is equal to the product of their moduli. So we have got these two complex numbers. So while solving, I'll put this as Z1 and this one as Z2. Okay. So we have to find product of Z1 and Z2. So let Z1 be this, Z2 be this. Then we have to take product. So Z1 into Z2, substitute the values. Now 3 is here, so write 3 and then copy this whole thing. Then minus 2i, and copy this whole thing and then simplify. So 3 2s are 6, and here 15i, here 4i, and here minus 10i. So this is your second step. Okay. Then sorry, here I into I square. Then you know that this I square will be minus 1. So minus 10 into minus 1, this will become 10. That 10 and this 6 will become 16. And here 15i and minus 4i will become plus 11i. Okay. So you got the product 16 plus 11i. Done. Now next they were saying that hence show that the modulus of the product is equal to the product of their moduli. So whatever product we have got over here, no? So we have to find modulus of this. So this is equal to Z1 into Z2. So modulus of this will be Z1 into Z2. You have to write like this, mod, and this will be equal to A square plus B square. So for this, A is 16 and B is 11. So substitute the values, you get square root of 377. Done. Leave it till there. Now what you do is, they are saying that we have to show that this is equal to this. Okay, because here they are saying hence show that modulus of the product. So this is modulus of the product is equal to the product of their moduli. Okay, so this is modulus of Z1, this is modulus of Z2, and we are taking their product. Okay, so we have already found this. Now we'll find this separately, this one separately, and then we'll take their product. Okay, so here mod Z1 is coming root 13, mod Z2 root 29. Now take product of these two. Okay, so you get square root of 13 into square root of 29, which is coming same as this. It's coming same as modulus of the product. Okay, so it's proved. Okay, so let us keep it till here for today. So this is done.